Good morning, everyone. Again, sorry about the weather. Welcome you all to the April meeting of the Hiku Community Board. Without further ado, I'd like to call Trevor to open us with karakia, please.
E tō mātou nui te rangi e pā e whakawhito ana mātou mō ngā tini manaki mō tēnei wā hei hui, hei whakapiki o mātou hāpori. Manakitia mātou i tēnei hui, nā tini kaupapa. Manakitia o mātou hāpori hoki i rungi te ngoi i krai te āmene.
Amen. Thank you, Trevor. Could I have apologies, please?
Just the apology from member Andy Billas.
Can I move those? Can I have a seconder, please? All those in favour? Aye. We've got a few speakers this morning. Just a reminder, if you could come forward. If you need to sit, that's fine. If you want to stand, that's fine too. I'll ask Michael Morris first on my list.
Oh, Michelle.
Michelle, sorry.
It always happens. Kristen, thank you so much for inviting us here as a group of the Ahipara Coastal Patrol. So we have put in, once again, we put in funding to run our vehicles for the next summer season. The 26-27 summer season, which the Community Board very kindly gave us funding for last year, which we used it all, just mainly on fuel, because that's how much it takes to run the vehicles to do the coastal patrol. And I'd like to ask Brendan if he wants to stand up and say a little bit about who we are, because I think you'll a new board, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Morena tātou.
Morena.
Tūtai mea te kia koe, Trevor. Whakapuare tō tātou nei e hui mo te hāpori o tātou nei o te Hiku o te Ika. Te hunga mate aroha ki a rātou. Me he tangi ana i Manukau. Tā tātou te hunga o. Me hinui tēnei ki a tātou nei. And yes, I'm here to support Michelle. Michelle's our brains in regards to the financial side of things. I'm just here to support our little ropu here. We just finished our last AGM, and just a brief on the money that was spent on at Ahipara Coastal Patrol. It's been a big change. Last year when we were looking at closing, Ahipara Coastal Patrol was looking at closing as a community service, and in the last 12 months since then, not only have we managed to survive, but we've actually got new members on, we've got a new board, and we're participating in some great projects where we're now thinking of expanding. We're not thinking, we actually are, we're expanding into other services beyond just driving up and down the beach, but we're working in with, there's a rahui out at Taurua that we're a big part of and supporting that. Working in with safety of things, you'll see with not so much with the feed stuff, but just being a presence and being there in support. We had big floods out of Ahipara recently, and we just went around and checked on our local community there, just to see if everybody has needed help. Other things that we're doing is I've done an application recently, that if we're allowed to talk about it, but one of our members, she does health with elderly people with kaumātua and kuia. So we're more than just being a patrol, we want to be a positive part of our service to our community in regards to health and well-being in a holistic manner. Looking towards it's going to be a really good year this year. Just this weekend gone with Easter going through, and just having a look at the change of behaviour that's out there at this particular time compared to last year or even 2 years ago. Totally different behaviour in our community. We've been working a lot with our young people with the motorbike situation. We've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to cover. no doubt you've got all of these people here to talk to. It's my small little contribution to this hui today.
Just one question for Michelle. Working with such similar issues at Wharawhiti on the peninsula, Karikari Peninsula, I'd be real interested in getting them together with you just to learn. We're just sort of working on those processes now, motorcycles, etc., etc. Nothing you don't know. It'd be real good if we could sit down at the same table.
Yes, Poppy Yates, who's part of both of the coastal patrols on both sides of things, she's keeping in contact with us. We'll be working on that. As we are with other areas we want support. And coastal patrol too. A lot of people want to do this type of service out there on the Pukeanga, Whanape, etc. Ōwhata. So just happy to be giving a positive report on funding well spent. Ngā mihi nui kia ora.
Are there any further questions?
Yes, I just really wanted, aronga mai, what are some of the things that the Coastal Patrol does in summertime around Aipara?
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry. So most of it's communications, Hilda, majority of it. So these are our pamphlets. I'll leave a couple here on the desk for you to just go through and have a look at. But not only do we do Aipara Coastal Patrol, we do everything that's of value. For example, we're still doing the Whānau District Council camping pamphlets. We just come in and grab them and just add them, and we just share them out to anyone who's visited coming into Aipara. The Driving Safely Northern Regional Council pamphlets, they're a really good resource. In our comms, we talk about where there's good facilities like public toilets. A lot of people come to Aipara who don't know anything about Aipara. And so we tell them where the public toilets are, where they can go to if they need water, etc., etc. So communications is a big part of our service. Being a presence, we're there a lot. But I tell you, this weekend, didn't see Math or Doc or anybody else out there. Takiwa was only us out there, and for me, it's how do we collaborate and how do we make it so that we do have a presence out there. So when people do come into our communities, they see that there's a positive message, positive way of working together. So that's probably our biggest one as a cons, but we need the funding so that we can operate. We can be down there and communicate to everybody out there. So that's why we appreciate the support.
Don't agree. Mike.
Michelle, just have you factored in with the rise in petrol prices? No. Yeah, just wanted to see that there.
I did, with last year's funding application, I did a cost analysis because it was our sort of relaunch year last year, and it was the first year, and I did a cost analysis of how much I thought we'd use. And yeah, we got a good bit of the funding that we needed. We got in as much as we needed. So it's kind of, petrol prices are, but I mean, you just don't know. But I thought just to be fair as an amount of money, as a funding grant, that was, it felt like a fair amount to ask for. We used a lot more than that last year, but I had other pieces of funding that I could feed into it as well. But for the community board, I know you have a lot of other people that you help, so yeah, that just feels like a fair amount, and we make it work.
Thank you. Adele.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Adele Gardner. How are you? Thank you for coming. Just one quick question. How busy are you during the winter months, or did your operations start in the summer more so, like a Labour weekend? Or
no, we have a presence all year round.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So yes, we do. We find it's better to operate annually, so that by the time we get to that busy period around the Labour weekend leading in, there's 6 months from Labour weekend through to Easter, really, of high traffic flow of everybody coming in. It's visual, everybody sees it, but those winter months, they set a presence of communications, and we get a lot of time spent with our local community, and we participate in wānanga, we participate in local hui, community huis. We'll be having one soon actually, that we're organising to have. The marae has asked us to have a part of community hui at the Kraukore, so I'll make sure to invite you.
Thank you.
No further questions? Your application will be looked at later on in the meeting. We'll inform you as soon as we've made a decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can, you can see someone else.
Yeah, we understand your time's valuable, so.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Tēnā koutou.
Kia kaha koutou hoki. Very good.
Kia ora. Al. Bye-bye. Our next speaker, I've got Pune Harawira here, but I know he's not in the room. Have we got another delegate representative from Mesh, please?
Kia ora, Chair. Eddie Balas, member Balas is online with his hand up.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, through the chair, I just wanted to ask the coastal group a question, please. I just want to clarify.
They've left.
They've gone. Ed?
Well, my hand's been up, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, we understand it, but that's the disadvantage of having the TV behind us and as opposed to in front of us. Sorry, I apologise for that. Eddie, if you wanted to pass that message to me and I'll get it to them because I'll be organising a meeting with them. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Eddie. It's not happening. Sorry about the interruption.
Tēnā tātou katoa, tēnā koutou te puari nei o te Hiku, te hari koe au ki te tūtaki o koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. A koe te tahi kai kōrero no muri whenua Education Sports Hub. He kariawa honi harawira, kore June He uria hau o Ngāi Takoto Ngāti Kawe me te raroa. So kia ora, I'm here representing the Muri Whenua Education Sports Hub. We put in an application for funding in regard to getting the mezzanine or in the gym lined and some lights and also the outside part. We presented probably a staged approach to how we would like to finish the gym, but at this meeting I'm just presenting who we are and why we see that this funding is very important. So I'm one of the trustees on the committee, and I just want to talk about some of the activities that we've done. Well, actually, you may not know that the facility was built back in 2003 and we had the swimming pool. The swimming pool provided activities in the morning if you're an early bird. It attracted a lot of the kaumātua where in after school there were programs to help community and tamariki learn how to swim. In 2007, the double stadium was built that kind of extended the opportunity for the facility to offer more than just the basketball. So the primary, when it was first opened, the primary sort of sports that was being played was basketball for juniors and adults. But then it also extended it to include community events. So more recently, 2025, Mesh hosted the Manatani National Hui, was well received. We also hosted the Māori Women's Rugby League National Hui. We also run locally celebrated matariki events that go on for a week that we've invited the community to attend. And oh yes, and we also the hub in our area. We put our hand up to be a civil defence hotspot to respond. And if I remember, we were put to action when we had the tsunami.
Yes, we were there.
And how we stood things up really quickly in that time to get all the schools mobilised up to the school, everyone parked, fed, entertained. Not easy to entertain. I think there was about maybe 8-9 schools that came up to the kura. Yes. That's me.
Do we have any questions, please?
So this is Trevor Beatson. So we come in through the doors into the basketball stadium, and up above you to the right that's the mezzanine. That's full of gym gear right now. Oh yeah, and so it's lighting. Would that be closed in or no? Because it's open A down to the.
Well, to be lined, and they've got the lighting above it. Just that part there.
Yeah.
I think, Trevor, you were looking at the wall to block it off from the basketball. No, that wasn't.
That will all stay open and look down still on the court.
Still look down.
Yeah.
And the other part of the funding is really for the car park, because at the moment, it's actually quite a risk if you travel up there and you're dropping your children off, parking on the opposite side and outside of the gym. You know, regardless that it's slow down, it's still a risk. The parking's not set up properly to help those parents walking their children participate in sport.
Quick question. Has there been an effect with the sports hub in use of the pool? Was it still well utilised?
It's well utilised. At this stage, we're establishing, because collecting the fees was quite a challenge from different people. So there's been a system sort of established where you can pay online and I suppose swipe in, swipe out. So that should help with the attendance and getting some regularity around the charges of how much an individual pays or a group pays. So that's going to be really helpful.
No more questions? Thank you. Manuel.
Actually, Mr. Chair, there has been an effect with the Sports Hub compared to the kura.
Right.
Actually, there has been a good, but I'm not here to debate that or anything like that, but there has been a significant change. So, the positive side of things is we as Mesh have to come up with ideas of how to attract people to come up there for things that aren't being catered for down at the Sports Hub. Right. So there has been a significant change. And can I say also that with the idea of doing the mezzanine level, that will be actually covered in. So because we want to put classrooms up, I think one of those top levels as well. Yeah, so it can be a study place. It also can be when we have wānanga, people can stay there as well. You know, when we get our security and all the things that need to be done for Orient Fitness for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but our main thing is to enhance our community, along with what's been happening here and at a Whanua district level. Our main thing is to enhance our community as whole, and also to encourage people from outside our community to come in. For instance, one of the things that we've seen on a long-term basis is that we see clubs, whether they're basketball or any type of sporting code, actually flying up to Kaitaia and coming to stay at the facility because it's something away from, especially if they're high-profile things, they're away from the public, they want to train on their own, so you've got the airport there. And you've got the facility, you've got the pool there that's ideal for recovery. There's just something there.
Can I just add to something that we've spoken about in time we will get there, but there are other sports that we can do, like indoor soccer, like gymnastics, but like it's only not competing with these guys, but general type sports. We could even do like the under fives, teaching young children how to play in different types of sports, and so that hasn't been paid for up there as well.
One thing I would like to add on this is that in regards to basketball, which is my first love, of course, that we host a skills and drills event up there every Friday, and we get up to around about 60 tamariki that come to it. Now, you might be interested to know that none of those 60 are any of our kura students, because during the week they have enough of me, so they don't want to come and see me on a Friday night after school. But we've got other schools that's a makeup of other schools in kura that come here, and that's to try and cover a need that we've recognised to help our community and trying to work as best as we can with KBA.
Thank you. No further questions? Like I said earlier, if you need to leave, feel free.
Good to see you, Manuela.
Thank you.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
You're not good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got one more speaker, and I think this could be online, and that's Sarah
She's here, Bill.
Dungy. You're here. Come forward, Sarah. Relax.
Kia ora. Sorry, I might sound a little bit nervous. This is my first time attending one of these meetings, which is actually really interesting. And so I'm here on behalf of the Maunganui Netball Association. So I'm the treasurer and I'm the person that has the job of applying for funding for them. And I'm also recently a life member, which I should probably say with pride. So just perhaps my history there. I'm not a netballer, but my children went to Ahi part of school at 5 and came home with the notice and wanted to play netball. And I'm sure lots of you know Jude Machu. The next week the book came home with my name as coach and my husband John's name as manager. And so I got the book out, and that was where our involvement with netball started, with our children coming through. One's left, one's getting older, and I seem to still be here on these committees. So we are requesting some funding for the installation of a PA system and an electronic clock. We've received funding to buy the hardware, and now we need to somehow put it in and get it working, basically. So yeah, that's what it's for. We haven't had a PA system at the netball centre since I've been around, and people tell me it's been a really long time. And it does raise issues, particularly health and safety. Heaven forbid, but should there be some sort of lockdown type situation happen, some crisis, we actually have no way of communicating to people out on the courts. Like, we've got a little portable Bluetooth speaker and a microphone that, if you're lucky, you can hear it on the first two, but you're pretty lucky if you. And so it does actually make running netball really difficult. So it's a long-term program, like a one-off capital investment, as opposed to an ongoing program. We've received funding from grassroots for the actual equipment, and now we need to somehow get it installed. I wanted to do a little bit of a plug also, just to let you know where netball was at, because we're very focused on keeping our fees as low as we can, because we really, really value the importance of community sport and the benefit of the engagement of people, both right from young through, and if we can keep them involved in sport and involved, engaged in community things. And I think a lot of us saw this during COVID when we didn't have it, the negative social effects that sort of flowed on from that. So we compared to other, even Northern netball centres, our fees are much, much cheaper. But because of that, we have no room to move for offering any extras, basically. But our real focus is making sure that our community can keep accessing community sport. And I think we're probably doing an okay job with that. And we've just had, like, literally over the weekend, registrations for teams have closed for this upcoming season. And compared to 2024, we've got 8 extra teams across junior and senior. And when we keep getting information back from the zone and Netball New Zealand and declining numbers and all of that sort of stuff, we're going to be sitting up around 900 registered members. And I think in an area this small, that's actually, I don't know, something that we're actually really proud of. And the only way that we can keep keeping our facilities and stuff, really, if we can't get funding, is to up the fees. And just the flow on that would worry us. So I've got more details if you need, but that's pretty much us and what we
Are there any questions?
Yeah,
Adele.
thank you. I'm Adele Gardner.
Hi.
Your funding application isn't on our agenda. Is it coming, or are you working with Catherine?
That's why I've given her my
Oh, okay. You've got
Sorry.
Yeah.
So very, I did it online Thursday. So it's probably
next meeting.
Okay.
That has to be in a month.
Oh, right. Okay. So what I got told was get it in fast, and then you turn up the meeting and talk to it. And then I looked online and this meeting was happening, and I thought, well, I better get here. Yes.
So
okay.
that's why you don't.
So that's got okay.
And
so
so if you jump the gun, it's okay.
the application, it has our accounts, it has the project, everything.
So just one other thing. So it's a winter sport that you the netball is. So have you thought about perhaps doing something in the summer to utilise your?
Yes, we do. I guess like anything, we get very tired as volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So we really encourage we're trying to bring people on, like men's and mixed netball, for example, as we've had a space open, we want a men's rep on our committee. Well, we've got one, like Mahi has come on, and to start to, because it's sort of like it's an infinity of what we can do, but what we can physically do is very hard. And also we are mindful that YPAP run a summer league up there, and we're not very comfortable with cutting over what they do, because that's very important for their club and their fundraising, and that would be a bit, it's just not community spirited, I suppose.
I'm not really talking about that. I'm sort of more or less talking about another group could come in and utilise the netball courts, like basketball or pickleball or something like that. So I'm just throwing it out there, because it's a shame that they're not being used full time. In the summer as well.
We have no problem, but we do have outside groups. Parafed come in and use it.
You do?
Parafed, and I'm not in charge of the bookings, so I'm the treasurer. I just send the invoices, but I know that they come in. We've also had some different groups when they, during Mental Health Week, came in and used it. So I know that's not an every week thing, but we do get approached by various other groups. Can we please use your facility? And it's always a yes, unless it's on netball night. Yeah.
As long as you're open to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Good on you, coming from rugby, struggling sport, and to hear the netball numbers, of that volume. Awesome, mate.
It does actually break our heart when we hear rugby stuff from my husband, and it's like, what are those kids doing? Because it would be really good to have them outside playing, and then even when we're down there on, it's amping up now, and you go down on a Tuesday night, because one of the things that we do is we offer a free lights night. So we have the lights on so that other clubs who don't have access to lights and that, they can come in and train for free under the lights. And, you've got people walking the loop, and you've got a bit of cricket happening, and then you've got a whole bunch of people like little to big, and it's actually a really nice vibe. It's just really cool to see people out using not just our facility, but using the community facilities and, doing cool stuff. It's really nice feeling.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any further questions?
So we wouldn't have to, Mr. Chair, we would.
Oh, would you like me to come next month as well? Or
Could we take her corridor as tabled and then pass?
Yeah, it's tabled, so thank you very much. You got in first.
The long weekend sort of threw it a bit, and I was like, well, I feel really bad, and I found out that I'd missed the thing. So that's.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you. So I need to contact you.
I will be in contact with you.
Okay, brilliant.
I can see your applications online, so it's all good.
Just been notified that we're just going to have to adjourn for a few minutes. The camera's not working. Is that right, Natasha? So, page 5.
We open the door. Sophie.
Yeah.
Need some windows open.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
forms to show me.
It's saying to re-establish the drainage committee. We've had no meetings since September 2025. One of the members turned up today because it was to be today, the 7th. Now we're told on here it's the 13th, which is Monday, but we have no agendas, no information, etc. And that's a very short time frame for any farmers to get their head around being here on Monday. But it is important to have this meeting because it's the one that we should be setting our committee, finding out work has or hasn't been done to date, particularly in the situation that we had. In the minutes of the meeting in February, there were the existing members on it, but in the item today, it's showing none of those people and just some gaps. And I don't know who was going to communicate with these people, whether they're being asked to do it or we're waiting for the drainage committee that's been put off till now Monday, whether it's going to happen or not. But it's very important because we're in the background. I didn't understand it wasn't re-established. We've been working like a committee since then, and we've done work plans. We've done the financial budget, etc. That should have gone forward to this committee to be able to adopt to go to the council annual plan process. Now, my understanding is now, just today here, that this will be at our meeting on Monday. And then it can come back to your community board meeting in May to be able to go to the council in June, which is the final thing for
Can I just answer to that?
Can you, Natasha?
Through Chair. So the committees were re-established in February. However, board members didn't feel comfortable putting these people on the board, on the committees without contacting them and confirming that they are okay to be on it for the next 3 years.
That done before this?
Tui has been working on that. And the reason
she didn't know.
She did.
Anyway, the way it goes,
Yeah.
we need a committee meeting for the members to come to establish that it is a board or it's not, because if it's not, then we need to know what's going to happen. These committees have been in existence since in the early 1900s. They were a committee of the works committee of council, and then it got put back to the community board, and it seems like it doesn't appear to be that important, where you've got 20,000 hectares that you're rating in the Kaitaia area that needs to have this information. We have got management plans that need to be reviewed and adopted, right? And I've asked for a workshop for this community board to be involved in them all in order to get an understanding and to put these forward to be adopted in order to do a resource consent. Now we've got a situation, we've got lovely lady here doing the resource consent, but the information in it, as in the mapping, etc., is incorrect. And it all needs to be updated. There's two here.
Sorry, but
Tui, could you come forward, please, just so we can see you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
No.
So the other thing with the names, that's the preference this year, that we don't put the names in advance. I still have them, and if you're happy with these previous members to continue, I'll just add them, and that's okay. It's just the technicality. Now,
what normally happens is we would have a meeting, and those members would come along and then say whether they want to resign or they want to continue to be party to it.
That's as per the management.
Yes. Okay. That's what normally happens, but because there's been no meeting since September, we're in a catch-22. We've had all this flooding out there. Who do they come to? And a committee that doesn't exist? Or to the community board members? I'm confused. Where do we go?
So sorry, just a question. So assuming that, can we invite them to the 30th meeting? And just, yes, I'm in, no, I'm not. I mean, that's all. It goes back to the first meetings when we were thrown into the deep end. None of the new members knew who these people were, whether they had been consulted. Yes, they're still on. That was the only problem we had. We had similar issues with other areas and tasks we were allotted. Same thing. We didn't understand the consultation process or whether it had happened.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, we were lucky in some of the stages where we brought that up, that those were sorted out. Otherwise, yeah, once again, we would have been tripping over ourselves. But that was why that was brought up, and that's why we're in this situation now.
because it's your responsibility for that. Our responsibility or two is for the agenda for the 13th. Because normally we have no different to the community board meeting agendas. We have an agenda go out.
Yeah.
I go out so many days
to come and I can collect agenda.
Well, how
I
are we
don't
gonna
write
do
the
that by Monday?
I'll have to
Well,
do it.
it's not
That's
a year.
problem.
Yeah.
If Tui has reports ready for the board, I'll create them for committees. Then fine, I'll create agenda and I'll send it to you within 2 days if I can have the report.
But we need the financial reports. We need the work program report. Yeah, and then we need the management plan update. I would ask that we actually have a workshop. We need that meeting, whichever, whether it's short or long, but we have a workshop with the community board to actually understand the management plan, because they've been updated. It's been since 2017 that they've been sitting in the council, and we've been working on them, and they've been updated. But we need to put that out to everyone. It's just gone out to the committees that have the draft ready, but we still have not finished the Kaitaia one, because it is rather complicated in the situation that the drains that we have. Parts of the drains belong to NRC management and parts belong to FNDC, and that's where the confusion is. I mean, we've had some serious blowouts at Tiroa down in the lake over the weekend. NRC, FNDC, so NRC sits into FNDC. Yeah. And all of this needs to be sorted out in a management plan. I'm not getting any younger, I'm just trying to get it on paper that people can actually see, and that's what we're trying hard to do. But when it comes to the financials, to go to the community board, we need that meeting, because this is totally different to any other committee, because it sets a targeted rate through the council. If we're going to increase it more money than what it's got, it means increasing the drainage rate, and you have to let people know in that annual plan if you're going to increase it. And that's why that meeting is important. But I don't know, can we get it done by Monday or not?
So if we have that committee meeting on next Monday for the drainage committees, we may have to have an extraordinary meeting and do it online or something to pass that information.
Yeah, as easy as we can do it, the better it is, and the quicker we can do it.
Before our main meeting, because it's got to get into the annual plan.
And aroha mai, Mr. Chair, the mapping, because you raised that last year that the mapping was out of date, and so there's somebody here. So I suppose what I'm hearing is that you're just asking for all of the reports to be available at the hui on Monday, and if you're doing the agenda, then somebody else is providing the annual report, the operational plans, the updates. And then that was something that got us stuck why we didn't pass something last year, because the maps that were referred to in the council minutes weren't up to date. They were, the older maps were meant to have been the correct maps. So, sorry, who's that staff person doing? Is that yourself?
That's the bylaw that was put, that is lying on the table of council now.
Yes.
It did not go forward. And it was the inaccuracy of the maps, etc., that we wanted to tidy up. So from Tui and my perspective is we flew a drone in Motutangi, Waihara, Kaikino, and just those three. We've flown a drone. We've got very clear mapping, so you get the correct lengths of the drains from where it starts and where it finishes. We haven't been able to do it in Kaitaia because we've been trying to sort out the financials, etc., with know what money is available. So I'm asking council, before spending money on a resource consent process and getting in consultants, 2 lots of consultants, we should be getting the basics done correctly first. So I'm asking council to see if we can get some funding for that, rather than putting in a resource consent that also has maps that are incorrect.
I thought the resource consent was on hold.
Well, I did too. I got a letter from.
So what happened?
But
yeah,
I'm not sure. It's simmering there, so it's with what we did, what happened.
Would you like to speak to them?
Yeah.
Come forward, please. Bring your chair. You're right.
So at this stage, we're currently working on the resource consent to be lodged by 30th of April. Now, since 2022, NRC has been on our back, pretty much saying that if we don't get resource consent, they'll be threatening abatement notices. So essentially, if we don't get this resource consent lodged by the end of April, there's risks of getting those abatements. It's just because of the duration. NRC has been on FNDC's back to get these consents in.
Thank you. I've got a question, Felicity.
Kia ora, thank you, Mr. Chair. I've received an email from Northern Regional Council that
Thank you, Felicity.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Is that microphone?
I can't hear you, Felicity.
I'm unmuted. Can people online hear me? Harley?
I
No,
can hear
Ken?
you, Felicity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
online.
I can hear you, Felicity. I'm online.
Yeah, online we can hear. It's just in the room.
Yeah, we can hear.
Oh, okay. So just in response to what the staff has said there, I emailed the Northern Regional Council Consenting Department. Stuart Saville is the manager, and Katie Maguire is the replied and said that there is no urgency from NRC. In fact, that due to the minister's response under the new consenting regime for the new planning acts that come into effect in 2029, that there is no requirement for our council to get those consents. And I had that in writing, and I passed that on to Tanya, who's the manager of infrastructure, and she said that the consents were to be put on hold because of that direction from the Northern Regional Council. Do you have a response about that?
That hasn't been fed down to our team. As far as I'm aware, and through meetings between Lozzolini and Stewart, that this consent needs to be lodged. So there might need to be some kind of communication between what correspondence has been had in regard to that, so we can get that in mind.
Well, I'm just concerned because we had, it must have been 2 years ago now, had a meeting with the Kaipara Council, a consent specialist, and our team as well. I'm not sure Fiona may know the name of the lady who was the planner that was going to do a global consent between both our council and the NRC, and we were looking to also include Whangarei Council for all the drainage districts throughout the Northern region, not just our area, in order to save costs and time, in order to address the fact that all of these schemes that were permitted prior now are a controlled activity under the regional plan. So we had actually already talked to Jono, who's a planner and the CEO of the regional council, about doing a plan change to address that going forward, and that we were addressing that requested plan change while the consent was being on hold. So again, I'm concerned that the silos of council aren't talking to each other, and it's quite frustrating for me over however many years that, and it's not just regional council, it's Kaipara as well. Fiona, do you remember the name of the consultant that was here when Andy Finch was here? She's got short hair. Martel, that's correct. Yeah, so Martel. She was the specialist there who attended with the Kaipara staff and their drainage experts. Their drainage income is over $1 million a year, and their scheme is much larger than ours. So, yeah. So I think we need to have another meeting with Katie and Stuart and NRC, and probably Kaipara as well, to address a way going forward. And I'm not sure how much budget is being allocated to these consents. And yeah. I had a second question about budgets, but is there able to be a response about that and maybe setting a date to sit down together about just the resource consenting element?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'll just email us a date and a time for that online meeting?
Yeah, I can follow up with that.
I think her name was Helen Robertson. She used to work at our council, and she was working for Kaipara.
And
she
Melissa.
was at the meeting and Melissa, who used to work at our council as well, from Waters. So those are the Kaipara staff we met with. So that would be great if we can catch up with that before we progress spending even more money and time. And you'll get back to us with that date. The other question I had around the finances is I wasn't sure how we're paying for the management plans, the drones, and now the consenting in the scope of a targeted rate. It's not coming from the targeted rate, it's coming from the general rate. Is that correct? Or where's the money coming from to pay for these activities?
General rate. I think it's coming from the general rate, but can I come back to you with that information, Felicity? Can I confirm that for you?
Yeah, that would be good, just because we haven't had a paper to the infrastructure committee about this, but it's quite important. Like, if we're spending money on consenting, why shouldn't we be spending money on like drone surveys to get aerial data, so that we don't have to pay people to walk drains, or on the management plans instead of the consents, and how we forward plan that financially, because targeted rates are a separate bucket of money. And there was also supposed to be a staff member from that separate bucket of money. I'm not sure what happened to that resolution either.
At the moment, I couldn't hire somebody in for that position. I'm using one of my other 3 water technical officers to cover some of the tasks in there, so we haven't touched that budget this year.
Good.
Can I say, I also have an email from Katie McGuire dated the 4th of February, where she said, I discussed your inquiry regarding the requirement for the resource consent with the regulatory GM Colindale. He advised that similar advice was provided to KDC and FNDC that they should get on with making an application. However, he does not record any specific deadline of April 26 being set by NRC. It is possible that this deadline has been set internally by FNDC, but this would need to be confirmed by FNDC. Now, I did forward that on to Louise, who finished work a couple of weeks ago now. Yeah, so,
Yes, so I've taken on the resource consent since our senior infrastructure planner has resigned a few weeks ago. So
that makes it quite difficult for him to catch up and understand all this. But the biggest thing to understand is Kaipara has 40 drainage districts and we have 4. And because we have 4 in Te Hiku and there's no others in the rest of the council, it's for us to make sure it happens up here. Otherwise it won't happen.
So moving forward here, with this pending meeting on the 13th.
I'm not sure how it happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah,
Agenda.
exactly.
Financial. When we have that meeting, because that's the meeting that we normally have. We had to have it in September this year because of elections. We normally have it in October to set the work for the year. That didn't happen. And now we went from March to into April and it still hasn't happened. Yeah. And we're Tuesday to now, we've got 3 days. You've got to have an agenda out within 3 days of a meeting, which is on Monday.
Adele.
Well, I mean, this report's been written. It's been obviously been okayed. So I would have thought that this agenda for next Monday should have been well underway by now. So why isn't it?
That's my question.
Anyone, can you answer that?
It was meant to be the 7th, because many people turned up here this morning to find that they weren't notified that it wasn't happening today.
We'll go back to Aisha. We'll go back to Aisha to get some more
Because these voluntary people, farmers that are giving up their time.
Understand.
Or community people giving up their time to be part of it, to help keep our community clear of water. I mean, quite wide. It's on the land drainage scheme. Anyway, so again,
Through the chair, if I can have the reports necessary before, let's say, close of business on Thursday, I can get the agenda out to you by Thursday evening. So you'll have it to review and look through, and we can still go ahead with the Monday meeting. But can you do the report?
I'll do the report. Because they need to get done. 3 committee meetings.
Thank you.
Just through the chair, while we're hearing the talks of community and that, on this, just going back on the inclusion of iwi, having iwi on these committee, and where that sits and where that stands as representation. I know there's certain amounts, but if there could, because I can see my takoto te raroa, my takoto te Aupori, having people on those boards as well.
They have always been invited to the other board, and they did come along for a while, but then they didn't. And it's always been there. Never been a problem at all. Actual fact, it's way better. If you've got to grow and Takatau land, what I call the old land court farm and the lake bed, they should be showing some interest in it. Yes, it is a voluntary thing, but there's no payment. But it's just it's about the drainage of the area.
Cool. So, through you, Mr. Chair, can we go back and get some comms to the iwi as well? Just to say that they, and to be, I suppose, useful on these committee and turn up and participate.
I agree. So how is that, so can someone tell me how's that managed? Who manages that? I.e. notification of all parties, all stakeholders?
Democracy Services do all the prep for the agenda. And as for the contacting of the iwi, I know they definitely are as part of resource consent. It's a given that there's always iwi consultation, but as Fiona said, they've always been welcome. I think we just need to formalise that.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're here again, because of that issue, right at the start when we were all on here and we had new members on the community board.
But today is about this report that's on the table now. Get that so we can start the committees.
Could I ask you to get me the content details for representatives? And when I do the agenda and have invites for the meeting on Monday, I'll include them in. And if you want to get these members on the committees on the day of your meeting, like you said you're doing, then we can go ahead with them, if that's okay.
I'll get those. Thank you for that,
Chair. Fiona, thank you for your feedback. I picked up that you said there was a few things you said that I think we need to address. One, as a community board, your work is really important to us, and we don't diminish the work of the drainage committees in any way. As for some of us as new board members, we were just like, has anybody asked these people if they still want to be on the board? And we're going to go and establish a drainage committee, and what if they say, oh, I'm done with that 3 years ago? So we wanted to be certain that the council had confirmed the people that we were appointing to the positions were happy to continue, recognising volunteers, their own time, effort, and whatnot going into it. So thank you for that. And we don't value at all the work that the drainage committees have been doing. We're probably a little frustrated too, And I think a workshop, you mentioned we need to workshop and get together. I think that would be really beneficial for probably not Adele, because she's been there and done that in terms of, she'd probably run the workshop, but for some of us newer members, it would be definitely welcome opportunity. And to attend a workshop, I'm not sure who organises that, but potentially if we're bringing in new committee members, maybe from iwi and other interested parties, then that's a good opportunity to all come together and do the requisite learning and knowledge, filling some of those knowledge gaps. Particularly for me, I want to sit on the committee alongside Adele so I can learn about what the roles in that are. I don't know if I'm available on Monday or not, but I'm going to be at those meetings if we can make that happen. But yeah, just wanted to support your encouragement for a workshop together, and also just highlight that we do value the work of the drainage committees and can see the importance of it.
Can I also I just want to echo Fiona, because since coming in to the land drainage and that, absolutely, a bit like youth coming in, this is all new and that, so still learning, but thanks to Fiona, who's been supporting all the way through. We try and meet every fortnight up here in Kaipai. She takes us around the drains, imparting the knowledge and the experience that she has for years and years. Sure, she wants to beat us up the bum sometimes, but that's all right. But just having someone like Fiona here and Adele who's been coming along just to try and re-establish this, or make it so that when Fiona decides to retire, or Adele or me, that it still keeps going. So just wanted to acknowledge Fiona's support.
Thank you. Well, we're picking on you, Fiona.
Thank you.
And you, Adele. I just want some clear steps. Can someone just give us some clear steps leading up to Monday's or 13th of April meeting? So everyone's on the same page. We know who's doing what, what's happening, what time, etc., etc. What needs to happen?
I am concerned about the 13th because it is the school holidays. We've just had a long weekend, so whether and there's that much damage out there that needs to be done, whether you can get those farmers here for a quorum, which is 3 on each committee, it would require a big ring around to see if that's going to happen.
Can I ask where the 30th of April date came from?
Somebody wrote it in there.
I don't know where that date's come from.
That was basically the only available date we have on.
Just don't see it on the formal calendar.
No, it was. I didn't put it on the calendar until it's accepted today.
And then I'd suggest your date, the 20th of August.
No, that's not going to work.
It has to be later. You wouldn't even know what's happened over the winter months and what work needs to be programmed. It should be in October.
So since we haven't moved the content, this item before we started talking about it, you can tell me what date you think we should put in. I just went with the previous year, and that was the 12th I could get.
Well, while you're thinking about that, 7.6 re-establish a Hiku Land Drainage Committee. I move it. Could I have a seconder, please?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking what date would work.
Late September, October.
Late September or October. Okay.
We've got through the winter months, we know we've got an idea of what's happening and what programming work that starts in December. This year is looking like a wet year. Starting now, we're April, we've got to get through to August. The end of August.
Sorry, through the chair. Did that motion need to have around reaching out to the EU?
No. And I'll tell you what I've added.
So, I don't know what's coming on, so.
That's fine. Good break in the mood.
I'm used to it because it just won't shut up. Shut up! Shut up! Sorry.
You're fine. That's fine.
Okay, so we're looking late September or early October. Week of the.
Can I suggest, Bill, when you said to appoint the existing committees that you have and a iwi representative?
Right.
On the 5th of October, there is nothing.
So when
on
is our
formal
actual meeting?
calendar. We're just talking about it.
I'm talking about council meeting in that month. So when we adopt, when they have their meetings, we have
It's
to
on
adopt.
28th of September. And then we have one on 27th of October. So if we do the committee meeting on 5th of October,
yeah,
you can adopt it
in November.
No, on 27th of October.
Oh, okay.
Would that work? 5th of October.
Yeah.
Did you want one pre-election? I heard you say.
We need one now, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure about
but
Monday.
that later one, and then you suggested
I don't know,
pre-election.
last year it went forward because of the election rather than being in the October.
Elections are going to be around mid-October.
I mean, the
Yeah, national ones.
I
Yeah.
know, I wasn't thinking, I was just thinking about.
Yeah.
Final.
And so I'll put this on screen.
I suppose us as Te Hiku should sort of really say that this has been floating, hanging for a long time since I started. And so, you know, we need a TUI, and I suppose it's in your department, that we need to have oversight of this so that, you know, that it's planned for before it comes to the meeting, all that stuff. But it just sort of seems to float.
So it's been doing that for a few years, even in my short tenure.
Okay. So
5th of October. What does that sound?
So at the Hiku Community Board appointed the following members to Kaitaia. So Fiona and Gerald King, member Adele Gardner as the Hiku representative, and Deputy Chairperson Cheryl Bateson as the Hiku Community Board representative. Appoint the following members to Motutangi Range Area Committee, member Adele Gardner as the Hiku Community Board representative, and appoint the following members to the Kaikino and Waihara Drainage Committee, Fiona King and member Adele Gardner. The meeting of these committees be held on 13th April 2026 and 5th October 2026 at the venue to be confirmed. And I would add under F that remaining members be appointed at a meeting on 13th of April, which includes potentially anyone from iwi's might would come.
No, because what you're saying remaining means all the committee members out there aren't committee members unless they come to that meeting.
Or are confirmed.
Or are
Confirmed in writing.
So I still have the names, and I can put those names and put these people to be confirmed.
Those names were in the February meeting.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're all happy with that?
And iwi. And
yeah.
iwi.
Around the table, Jan? Everyone else? We've just got to get this clear that everyone's on the same
You've got to
page.
go back to your February meeting and have the people that are on the committee.
The only reason I removed that is because that's recommended way this triennium. We don't put the names in advance because the reasoning behind that is you don't want to influence people. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a general across the council, not just for this. And so that's why I've been
September till now with nothing in.
regardless, I'll put them back on.
At the next meeting? No.
No, I'll put them now,
Now?
and then we'll send the invites to all of them for the
Yeah.
next meeting.
And if they turn up, they turn up. If they don't, well,
I don't have a lot of face for Monday because you don't get an agenda on Friday. It's school holiday. There's enough damage out there for people to deal with.
Another look at the calendar and see if there is, but the calendar is really, really extremely busy. And I couldn't find any other day. So
Could we take
what
that?
about 20th?
Yeah, 20 days.
20th April?
And give people enough time.
yeah. We can have an extraordinary meeting anyway.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that would end up getting to the annual
LTP.
plan, because we've got Motor-Tangi that was zero rated, that's going back to be rated.
Yeah.
It needs to be in that plan.
So we'll put it for 20th April and 5th October.
Yeah.
So those are the dates.
Through the chair, just on that resolution, we omitted every representation. Should have been on there.
Yeah.
Chair, I think my question is just if this meeting for the drainage committees was scheduled in February and it got pushed to today, and now it's pushed to Monday, where's the agenda and reports for today's meeting or February's meeting? Because I'm not sure whether, where is the missing gap? But it looks bad for the community board if we're not establishing or re-establishing and moving and approving that today. It just, it's not very good.
It's been moved. We can't afford to muck around any longer.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Mm.
Because of the tight time frame for the annual plan.
Mm.
Everything has to be signed off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of those days were well.
For the
within that.
budgets, otherwise there's going to be no money to do any work.
Mm.
So it's a really tight time frame.
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
There's money we need to spend, and we can't get it from council for this drones to make this resource consent happen, to make the management plan happen.
So is that our way going forward?
Well, the two dates, because we didn't meet Monday.
So the 20th.
20th and the 5th of October.
Right.
So we have to approve that. Once the committee meetings are on the 20th, our board has to approve that.
The next community board meeting.
Either at an extraordinary meeting
There
or in the
is
main
one,
meeting.
I think, week after. Just double check.
So I'm just trying to get the staff lined up so that they know the timeline and not. Yeah.
So this committee's meeting is on 20th and the community board is on 4th of May.
See, that's all after. So, okay.
That's 2 weeks.
Will that work? You need to find out whether that'll work for the finance people.
It does. I checked with finance this morning. It fits into
It
the
does?
annual plan.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because it'll be May for Hiku, June for council.
Right.
And then just to have a workshop with the community board, you don't need an agenda or item, you just need an workshop.
Around these management plans.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good date for that. I know. Shut up.
Well, it's only with the committee members and, not really, community board.
I can schedule a workshop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And do you want a copy of all the management plans that they get emailed to you?
Yes, please. Yes.
Well,
I'll warn you.
Are they
Come
updated?
to me because it's 70 pages.
You gave me the last one.
Yeah, I know that.
yeah.
It would be good.
Put the old and the new there.
Oh, we've got new ones.
Well, they've still got to be workshopped.
Oh. Okay, cool.
They've all got to be workshopped, yeah.
Yeah,
There's still
too
stuff
bad
in
for
there that
school.
needs to come out. And
We need to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
Might be a third one next Sunday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Fiona, just between, this becomes null and void now. We've sorted our dates and times. Okay.
You've got EDI and you've got.
Yep. And workshop.
so we can sort a workshop date out as well.
2 weeks.
Tui's going to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Not
Tui.
all the board members know.
Thank you very much for all that, Kate.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you very much, as per usual.
The only one thing I wanted to say as a drainage person is we need to try and ensure that these management plans and the drainage schemes go in the district plan.
Yeah.
Because that document is the only document that building consents or planners look at when doing consents, i.e. Brownie's consent. Why didn't it have building heights? Taupara Street, how come it has open drains called rural land, but it's in an urban area? Why is it going into a county drain that size hasn't altered for the last 60 years? It's the same water, and that's what happened. It went that way. It doesn't go to the river towards Bells. It actually goes back down to the sewage ponds. All that water goes down there, and there's been developed into the bottom of Lake Road, development. Greg Street.
Yeah.
Where, not
Lake.
Lake, sorry, Greg Street.
Street.
And there's nothing wrong with the housing in that. It's just managing and looking at everything as a catchment and making sure that we can get into these sites. If there is a blockage, if there's trees crossing, falling in the river, we need to get to it. And there is the rules, there is the bylaws, there is the rules within the plans about distances from rivers, etc. But it's not being staunchly followed by the planners or the consenting people.
So Fiona, you are absolutely right that all our drainage maps need to be in the district plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Particularly in where the urban sprawl is spreading out. Anyway, that's important to me. That's one of
taking that recommendation to council until we'd talked to the owners and managers of a number of private car parks, and also there was the one rugby field, to see if they were happy with that recommendation. We conducted that consultation in February. We just missed getting on the agenda for the March meeting. So here we are in April. We conducted the consultation. All of the owners were happy about including their private car parks. The Wanganui Rugby Club was not happy that their rugby fields would be made an alcohol ban area, and staff support that request. The detail of that is in the body of the report. And also at reasonably late notice, the board asked that the riverbank area between Church Road, the Church Road Bridge and Empire Street be declared an alcohol ban area, and staff support that addition. It means that whole riverbank area is now part of the alcohol ban area. So we're now seeking the board's recommendation to council to revise the Kaitaia alcohol control area with, I think there's 21 particular locations that are listed in the body of the report.
Are there any questions of Donald?
Excellent.
Yeah.
And sorry, I need a mover once again and a seconder. Who's a seconder? All those in favour of the report? Aye. Thank you, Donald.
Thank you.
Donald.
There we go. Can I move to, because it's a community issue at the moment, can I move to 7.2, page 62, new location for the caravan dump station? I'll move it. Have the seconder?
James? Yes, yeah, thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Sure.
This is James Knight, the report writer.
Yeah, so I just want to start with an apology that I have a typo in the recommendation, and that is moving from 16 to 28 Meadow Bay Road. It's actually the other way around. 28 is where the fire station is located, and trying to move it next door to number 16, which is the hall. Right.
Can you just go through your three options, please?
Yeah, the first one is obviously keeping it at the current location next to the FEN building. They've had to move the building over slightly, which has given us less space, which will mean that we also need a new entrance. There'll be a whole lot of trees that will need to come down, and being closer to the hall, the bank will be steeper, so we'll need a retaining wall there. The second option, which is the third option, would be to construct it next to the hall, which will be closer to the road and closer to all the public services around here, like the hall and the tennis courts and public toilets. The third option was just a quick option, really, to have a look at maybe putting it by the recycling centre. There's a bit less space down there, and there's a few other conflicts with it, but that was, yeah.
Thank you, James. Just a question. On Saturday, I was at the Whakawhiti market to look at certain issues out there as well as enjoy the market. Yeah. But I also spoke to the hall committees. I spoke to EB representatives, local marae, and the general consensus is that your second option next to or adjacent to the hall is just not acceptable in regards to their feelings, i.e. number one, the hall is not only used for general meetings, ratepayer meetings, etc., the formal side, but it's also used for wakes, it's used for weddings, etc., etc. The last thing they need is vans
that they don't know of, camper vans, they don't know of, parking in that area when you've got functions like that on. We just see that there could be a detrimental effect in terms of the locals, the people. Not only that, most of the unloading is controlled. I understand that, but there's always there's always a circumstance where something could go wrong. And to me, if you're having a function that it's not very nice.
Yeah.
And sorry, similar, if we've got people coming through there that the locals don't know and they're playing tennis, or there's a big function on, we're going to have conflict.
Yeah. Sorry. In my opinion, there shouldn't be any caravans parking there, unless of course it's extremely busy and people need to wait to use the facilities. But there shouldn't be caravans or any vehicles parking in the car park there. For smells or unwanted discharge, the caravan dump station would most likely be further away from the hall than it currently is located, which is next to the fire station. It's slightly uphill from the hall, but it is quite close to the hall at the moment.
Yeah, the beauty of that, having it uphill, is that it's out of sight, and that's the working area behind the hall, whereas the public areas on the other side with all the decks where everyone's walking, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of having it up by up above the hill by the fens, was it was out of sight. Trees, we had coverage, we had height covering, we had trees covering, and that was the working area of the hall where mostly public weren't there. They were on this side, which is the
it may require further assessment, but my assumption is those trees will have to come down if we keep it at the current location
to get driveway
more towards us, towards the hall. Yes.
One more question. You're going to need a roundabout, a turn. I see that in your diagram.
Yeah.
Would that encroach? How far will that encroach?
Well, that's just a concept design. I've just copy pasted from our current design for that, just to give an idea of what it could be. But it can be a much shorter. It can be closer to the public toilet area. It can be shaped differently to be further away from the hall. It needs to be a certain size, of course, but we have a bit of room to work there.
I understand. Yeah. Thank you. Instead of talking, Felicity.
Oh, kia ora. Oh, I see Shelley's got her hand up. Mr. Chair, can she please speak first because she's the top manager? Thanks.
Kia ora, thank you. Through the chair, I just would like to just get some direction perhaps. So what we have recommended as the preferred option was seen to be the most efficient in terms of combined use of the facilities that we already have, as well as the cheapest option in terms of implementation. Happy to take direction. I guess the concern was that if we tried to use the area next to the fire station again, that it could encroach on those future development plans for the reserve and behind the fire station area. So I would just be seeking some direction on that as well. I don't believe that there would be any conflict in terms of the use of that area. As James has already said, next to the public toilets, the caravans, camper vans would only be stopping for a short moment in time to discharge and then move on again. That was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Can someone just can you just outline the third option, transfer station? It just seems to me to be a natural place where you put something like that.
Yeah. Obviously, hasn't been any assessment done on that location, but with no services around it would be another high cost situation.
Okay. Having said that, in terms of cost, we have the Caravan Association. Obviously, a lot of their members use it. Are they part of that process? Do they contribute to that?
From what I've been told, you can apply for funding through them. I'm not sure the amounts, but I do know that they, in most cases, just supply the actual unit to dump into, which is a precast concrete plastic unit.
And so our other costs would entail? The other major costs, if
providing services like the water, the wastewater, and electricity, We may have to contact NZTA to get some approval from them. The Review Centre, of course. There may be traffic upgrades that need to be done there. Like I said, there hasn't been any major assessments done there.
Okay. Yeah. My general feeling and the public feeling is that the further we could move it away from public venues, public gathering, the better off they'd be. Sorry. Yeah. Felicity?
Thank you. So when FNDC established their fire station there, the community were really upset because the community owned the prior building and FNDC just basically took over, and it resulted in a situation where the public, there's the water supply area at the rear of the hall, and so we had to sort that out quickly before summer. I agree with the staff that it has to be somewhere within the reticulation and utilising existing infrastructure, because we don't want to cost our ratepayers any additional money by moving it away. So I think for me, what I was hoping is that the board would ask to do a site visit with the staff so that we could actually go and physically look at how it would work, and we'd invite the McMahons, who one of the local families that do a lot of the hall volunteer work, just so we can see how that would work physically on the site in terms of site layout. So that's what I was hoping the board would do today. And I'm not sure if for the staff, if having this lie on the table until a site visit was undertaken together, that would interrupt any work program or workflows for carry forwards. So can I ask that to the staff and to the board?
Thank you, Felicity. That makes sense. And we'd include local iwi in that too?
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, definitely. Nina would be coming along. I would anticipate as well.
That'd be great. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions of James? Sorry.
Yeah, I absolutely agree about option 2 with Phil. I think it's too close to where the public, because they hold how many market days a year? They hold a few, don't they?
It's getting a few because of fundraising.
And with
CCTV.
caravans coming in and out where it's so busy on that side, I don't think it's a good look to have a dump station right there.
Just following on from Adele, it was packed. There was no parking area right down from the power station, right down to Douglas Bay Turnoff Road, which was on Maitau Bay Road. There was no room. That was an Easter market day.
So if we can actually leave this on the table, so we've all been out to have a look, because I think the first option would probably be for me anyway, would be the fire station property, because I think it's going to be too costly for the third option is proposed. But anyway, that's just my preference.
But any prior information you've got before that when we meet would be brilliant. Just in terms of cost, what needs doing. It just gives us a handle on all those issues. But again, Saturday, I got a lot of, how should I say, negative response from the local community, which are there enjoying the day, looking over, seeing where it could go, etc., etc. But otherwise, thank you, James. Do we have to move the motion?
I think Adele did it, and I'll second it.
Okay.
Just leave it on the table.
Thank you.
Was there a cultural assessment done?
No, I don't believe it was. It may have been, this is a new project that I've just picked up.
Understand, James.
So there may have been.
Yeah, I appreciate the options and I appreciate that. Heads up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we looking at a timeline, like between now and the next month, or we want it? Hey, I'll leave it.
How long are we going to let it lie?
How long, James, before we can get to everyone out there?
Honestly, whatever you guys like, really. What would be
next Monday?
that's coming for you.
Next Monday?
Yeah.
It's free.
Okay, let's go.
Sorry, can I just change the wording instead of iwi hapu? Because I know Te Whānau
Sorry.
Te Roro Huri.
Sorry.
Yeah, just
Cheers.
hapu.
Yeah. Thank you, Crystal.
It's good spacing for the definitions.
Oh.
So James, if you can sort out the times and we'll meet
Just
you.
let us all know the time that we'll meet out, please.
And and we can let our local representative, our public know.
Transport.
We won't inundate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So we carry on with normal?
Yeah.
Confirmation of previous minutes, 6.1.
Oh, do we still got Manuhiri here. Do they need to present something?
I'm here for 6.3 amenity life.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
come forward.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Didn't see you hiding around the corner there.
Some guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. My name's Tayani, T, for those of you who I haven't met. Amenity marketing is one of the projects that I have on my desk at the moment. So the last community board approved the installation of an amenity light at Arndale Playground. So that's that one there. Each community board is allotted $10,000 each year to install amenity lighting in the ward. My plan that I put in motion along with that is to bring one light per year over 3 years, is bring more money into this year and get all the lights installed as one package which was realised. The use of time funds all the above.
So is that a couple of years, two or 3 years old?
This year.
This year.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've worked with a contractor in the Barrow Islands, Langaroa ward last year and found a really awesome solar light, which has been installed in Okiato, which does allow us to install lights in a range of different places because we're not reliant on the electrical connections, which are a really costly part of installing amenity lighting. So I went back through the community board strategic plan and found in there that the Karikari Recreation Hub multi-courts was identified in the 25-28 strategic plan as a location. So I would seek approval from you guys on that. And then I also went back through historical information that I found in Objective and found some RFSs where lighting had been requested at Māori Point in Monganui and also JC Centennial Park. So would appreciate that those locations being recommended for further investigation, or if there's other locations that you guys would like us to investigate, then we can also do that.
Pump trick. Pump trick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Are there any further questions? Any discussion on these?
Just like to add, with the higher the LED lights, the better.
Yeah.
There's less, to do in damage here. And I really like the idea of, LED lights. And I support this motion, and I know that Penetaui I would like to, that, we mention the Māori names for all of these sites, like Māori Point has another name, but I can't recall what it is.
Yeah.
That's all. And also in brackets, just so that that becomes a commonly understood thing.
Yeah.
Also, JC Centennial Park. Is that Moirua? Is that one?
Just over here.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's this one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we referred to that as the Kaitai rugby player. So yeah, just, you know, things like that for council stuff, please, you can take that on board. But yeah, I support this one. And I'll probably think of tangongi as well when that becomes more available for games, when the drainage gets done there. But that's down the track.
But that's under lease at the moment.
Yeah.
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 Adele, you had a question?
Yes, just through the chair. I support this. I just wanted to say that there was some solar lights put through and they were concreted in through the park over here at JC Park. But unfortunately, most of these lights have been vandalised because I did ask for higher poles, but the poles just weren't good enough for the vandals that vandalised.
I do understand that it's a different location, but the pole that we've installed at the Obiato ferry ramp has not been touched.
That's great. That's what we need.
We can hire if there's anything that could be added to mitigate the risk. But the pole over in Obiato hasn't had any.
That's great.
Anything.
Yeah.
Good. Because this letter does look like an easy target.
Any further questions?
Sorry, through the chair, just on our strategic plan and our amenity lighting, is there any other areas identified in our strategic plan?
Yes, there were multiple. Would you consider any of the other ones that were there?
Most of those had roading affiliation rather than our funding. So more than happy to look at any of those as well if you guys would like. But I didn't because of the connection with roading.
It's mainly amenity lighting is for reserves. Like public toilets, reserves and that sort of thing. It's not, roading is a different issue. Roading lights.
So maybe we should differentiate that in the strategic plan so that, or is it clear that what's in the plan?
Yeah, it has street lighting, community lighting.
Yeah.
Separately.
Street lighting still for amenity. Yeah.
It does bring a good question for us to also revisit the strategic plan for how this board wants it to look as well. You might add some more stuff on this one.
Are there any further questions or discussions?
So, sorry, can I just confirm, we've just looking into investigating Molden Point and Jackson Park, also including looking at.
Thank you.
That's your park here.
Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Kia ora.
Still got a bit of time for lunch because 6.1, page 8, confirmation of previous minutes. I'll move those. Second one.
Oh, just an amendment on those. The location. No. Awanui. Kauri. Kauri.
You held it in Awanui.
We held the meeting in Awanui.
Oh,
It's got down here, Tiahu. I better have a biscuit. God.
Meeting venue.
Sorry, and also the second speaker, I forget her name, from the Cooper's Beach Bowling. Hannah. She needs to be noted in there as a speaker.
And just to let you know on that subject, Natasha Bev drafted a letter of support, and that's been signed off by myself and sent to them.
And I sent it to him.
Thank you, Bev. Lovely letter.
Yeah, it was just a support letter, that's all. No relevance to funding or anything else.
Sorry, just some useless information about alfresco dining, but there's a situation in North Shore somewhere where it made me think of this discussion at our hui where a woman was just at a cafe and some crazy driver came in and hit her at one of these alfresco places and
she was
killed her.
Yeah.
Just think, I hope we've got sort of
barriers
or some sort.
And that's a, am I getting off the subject? No, we can talk about that. Yeah. And that was an issue I talked with Belinda. She said in our next time we get these licenses through is just scrutinise them a little bit more. She said she's having problems with more chairs going out, more tables going out, and just that lack of control because it's seen as ongoing, and everyone's just passing them without actually checking.
Through the chair, you only had 2, and they were just extensions.
Yeah.
That's right. Belinda had 15 to 20, and they were different.
Yeah, but again, heads up. All those in favour of minutes?
Aye.
What else we got there? 7.1.
Oh,
We got time for that?
Yep.
Yeah. 7.1, page 14. At the Kaitai Business Association annual report, annual financial report, annual plan, and chairperson report be accepted. I'll move it. Any discussion on that?
Massive report, a lot of work into that.
yeah. So you can see the MOA.
It's done annually.
Just while you're looking through that, just a reminder, I think I reported previous meetings with the CE that the proviso has been given to, or the job has been given to Kaitai Business Association to consult with iwi, on public with in reference to the warehouse and possible usage. That they've been given the mandate to consult in that respect, and that's all it is at this stage.
I just through the chair, I noticed that the market that there's what his name is, John, is it Kenderdine?
Kenderdine, yes.
He's actually got a stall
Asking the question.
What would you like to see in the old warehouse? So whether he's been given the mandate by anyone, I don't know. He's probably just doing off it.
No, he hasn't been given a mandate. He's actually come into
Just does it, eh?
Yeah, he just does it. He's been doing that in terms of council responses to ratepayers, etc. This is just another issue he's put forth.
And just to say that the warehouse, similar to the arrangement before with the other organisation, was given an opportunity to present a proposal, and that timeline was meant to have been agreed to, I think, around this kind of time here. So regardless, there's an agreement between the trust and the council at looking at that proposal, regardless of external input, and unless that arrangement is closed down by council. Just saying, there was an agreement that was made.
Okay. I was just reporting that on the meeting we had with the CE. That was here next door. We had a meeting with the CE, Clyde Business Association. Matty Radic, I think, called it. John, previous mayor. And at that meeting, the CE gave Kaitai Business Association the job of consulting in terms of ideas from the community then.
That's great, but I'm just saying there was a contractual agreement made available to the trust, and then the backlash, the response, whatever came later. I'm just saying that arrangement is still on the table as far as I know. Yes.
And I wouldn't have brought that up and it wouldn't have been taken. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Mixed messages. Felicity.
Kia ora, just in response to the old warehouse, I was also at that meeting along with Councillor Balke.
Thank you.
What I heard from the CEO is the CEO said that if anyone had any concerns to contact him. I didn't hear that there was any delegation of council to go out and consult. Sorry, Mr. Chair. So, yeah, I think there are some mixed messages because what I heard from the CEO is that we have a contractual arrangement, and I can see Councillor Balke is now commenting as well. And so he needs to respond to that in the first instance. So that's what I heard, but maybe we should seek clarity from our CEO because it is frustrating we haven't had a formal response.
Thank you, Felicity. Clarity on the C would be brilliant.
Through the chair, can I just agree with Felicity there, but also I had emailed him a week ago to actually follow up and ask if he could provide a statement just so people had some clarity going forward, like what is happening, where are we at, because I found that meeting a little confusing. So I just wanted to, I'll follow up on that email also just to see where we're at with that, and I'll just CC in Moko as well just to see if we can get some clarity on what's happening there.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Felicity.
Anyway, we're back to the agenda.
Yeah. Is it a recommendation?
So we are.
Are there any further discussion on the Kaurau Business Association plan before you the report?
No, everything.
All those, thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye, carry.
Yeah, can I be recorded as abstain?
I'm sorry. Shall we adjourn for lunch?
Is there anything quick we can get through?
Not really.
Travel fund.
Travel fund. Yeah.
We haven't done the Hirakino refuse.
That's a report, yeah. That's it.
133.
Travel fund.
7.7. That's pretty straightforward, actually.
7.7.
Okay, let's go. 7.7. Oh, that the winter 2026 rural travel funding applications.
I'll move up.
Yep, second.
Thank you. Any discussion on those?
Just I only just speak to the current oil crisis, and $290 5 months ago would have been awesome.
Yeah,
looking for a lot of our families with diesel vehicles driving kids around the north. That's like a tank and a half of gas now. So yeah, and I don't know if we have any more room to throw more into that, but I'd love to see.
No, we haven't.
The board could choose to put some money into their next funding round. I mean, it's all been done for this one. Winter tends to be the big one, so it might be that next winter funding round out of your next funding, you may wish to allocate some. Other boards have done that in the past. But that's a conversation we're going to have as a board later in the year.
Great. Great.
Pays to share all your fuel reserves.
Is there any further discussion?
Declare conflict of interest in one club. Thanks.
Gee.
So what do I do? Not vote? I can't vote.
No, you just
abstain.
Do we vote the singly or blanket coverage?
You can vote with a blanket.
Blanket. Yeah.
Right. No further discussion?
Other than what Trevor said. Yeah. So the process we do to put more aside for maybe next time.
Okay.
So we'd have to recommend to council to put it aside in the budget.
Or you can do it from your community grant funding. You can apply. That's what's happened in the past with one of the boards. So that's a conversation that you will have as a board, and that would be an offline
next function.
Oh, so we can't do it at this table now.
Well, no, because it will be next financial year, because those are already run.
Sorry, so that's the full budget we allow for the winter is 3-1?
That's all the money that's left.
Okay.
There ain't nothing left in the pot.
All right.
Well spent.
Spend it all.
Spend it all.
It'll help anyway.
Yes.
Put it that way.
All those in favour?
Aye.
That's if we get
Against, abstainees, abstainees.
Oh, I have to abstain. Sorry.
Thank you.
So you're going to do the Hirakino now?
Yes.
Under my pipes.
Okay. That the Hirakino Refuse Transfer Station improvements and approval collection point removals, and I'm reading the wrong one, so. That the Hirakino Refuse Transfer Station improvement and approval collection point removals be accepted. I have a mover, I have a seconder. Thank you, Trevor.
I'm happy to second that.
Just on Hirakino.
Sorry, I had my notes.
Move, Bill. Discussion, please.
Yes, please. Could I just get confirmation of that? Where are we? The Pangaru is in fact holding a junction?
I think all Pangaru.
Yeah,
Pangaru comes in the Kaika every camera.
yeah. Pangaru's there twice, but
Is there one at Pawaringa though?
no, that's where the illegal dumping's taking place at the junction.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's a drop-off point, but then for certain bags, and then it's
You
just,
mean the junction where you turn off to Pangaru and,
you go Pawaringa on your right, Pangaru
Yeah.
straight forward,
yeah,
just
right.
there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's nothing to say that's Pangaru. That's where I wanted the sign to go.
There probably isn't that in the other boards area, but see, we've also got Totara North being reported on,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're saying that that's
It's
That's
not
just-
in our area that.
yeah, it's just saying that that's illegal dumping, I think.
Yeah, I just want confirmation if that's actually, in fact, the
Yeah, because you got Pangaru twice,
Yeah.
85 and 4.
And the
Does that
Pangaru
mean-
junction is in Pangaru, which goes left towards Rawani. But yeah, that's the site where I've done my RFSs. Yeah, it's a big
I'll
spot.
just put that as a note.
Just
No,
a,
please.
I don't think, Ivan Minogue is on leave, and his report writer, I don't think might be able to answer that.
yeah, there's a volume of that. Yeah, much.
Sorry, I wasn't able to make that workshop on the 24th.
We haven't got it on.
Do you want it on screen or?
No,
Just a
no,
note with
no,
that.
it's okay.
So Mike, could you please?
Yeah, I kind of find it hard, like, you know, it says approval or support is sought to remove approved collection points that experience ongoing misuse. So if you say, let's take it away from the corner of Pangaru and Pawaringa, you're still going to dump there, aren't you? Even if it's away. Or Hirakino.
No, we trialled a cage there.
Yeah.
But then that didn't last very long.
Someone stole the cage.
Well, it's a real dusty back block road, you know. All types of activity happens along.
Both myself and Trevor were at that meeting, and the general consensus, and this was basically listening to people like Waste Management, that the cages are becoming a real mess in terms of controlling yellow and black bags. And not only that, building materials, et cetera, et cetera. Huge problems with rodents and just a mess. It's turning into a mess. Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong. They were actually looking at and they talked to some of the people like Unahi Road has got one right at the main road, said Highway 10. If you go past there at any time, you will see black bags and other rubbish. And the families there are sick of it. And I think, again, Trevor, if I'm hearing things wrong, they were looking at using that as a starter point. They'd already talked to some of the community and they were looking at getting rid of those and going back to the driveway pickup.
Yeah, through the chair, the desire to remove the drop points was to be replaced with the truck driving past. So people's rubbish will still be collected and it'll be actually closer to home for them to get collection done. So and Northern Waste guys are working through that process of identifying which area they work for first, then go door to door, essentially selling rubbish bins. I think they prefer to sell bins than bags.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the black bags, it was the pests, the rats, the potential thieving, people going through rubbish for documents to do fraud stuff, and a whole lot of range of issues with those dump sites. So
yeah, it's just become totally insanitary conditions. You've got staff there, and you have to give full credit to the staff. I've seen them at the Parapara Junction on top of the hill, shoveling in, just inundated with mess, broken bags, from animals.
Lazy stuff. I don't care about,
it's all it is.
I don't care about yellow and black bags being mixed together, because I think at least people are putting them in a bag. But it's the other junk that, like
and bikes and washing machines, fridges.
And the problem when you start dumping that sort of thing, i.e. building materials, metal, people start scavenging too and looking for that stuff.
The other thing in that meeting through the chair was that none of the collection points would be shut just like that without any consultation. They'll be communicated.
The other problem we've got, again, it goes to misuse or abuse, is some of the collection stations, and they were using Herikino, again, Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong, they were using Herikino as an example, and they were looking at involving the community, i.e. through the schools, mirroring the place, etc., just so that they get that sort of that ownership concept. And obviously they'll be looking at different manning times, just to try and get community involvement, community education in those areas, and using Herikino as an example.
Can I ask, I hear we have a Facebook page out to Hiku Community Board. I've never seen it.
Yep.
Who's the admin?
He's in charge of that, so yeah.
So is that operational now? Because comms is the critical thing that I'm finding. I used it in a council meeting the other day, driving to Mangamuka. There's about 3 different coloured signs. There's, one with just 3 coloured lights. Hello, there's going to be lights soon. Another one, be prepared to slow down. A third sign, and then before I even get to the man who's got the board saying stop, but at least I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And that's what the community needs when things change, because if they only, so whatever it is, I haven't seen that page yet.
No, you're right.
And admin and who can share on that. And I don't know, quite a notice board seems to be the one that, but that has all kinds of other stuff too.
Rachel.
I was just going to pipe in around the collection bins, because at the end of my road, we've gone through the whole system. We started off with it as a drop point. It didn't work. I organised a cage as a trial. That didn't work because it's just open, and so people can just hiff anything in there, and then it ends up on the ground. We tried some local policing, I guess you could call it, which was probably the most effective, is just getting the locals on board to try and persuade people not to dump at the end of the road. But at the end of the day, we had to get the whole thing taken away, and it's no longer a collection point, which is really sad. But it was filling into the drains, dogs, cats, it was just a disaster. And I went down all sorts of avenues to try and find an answer as a bit of a investigation, or how could we make this work. But as far as I can see, the only way is, like Fire says, comms, really good comms, and community engagement, and possibly just the bins at each household. Our rubbish dumping at the end of the road, whilst it's not a collection area, is still rubbish is still being put there, but it's getting less and less and less. So as time has gone on, it's no longer a dumping station, and we are seeing less amounts being put there. I think people are finding other places to put it. So it hasn't solved the problem, but it's just moved the problem. But if you take, when you take the bins away, I guess you'll still see that rubbish, but over time it will, but it doesn't fix the problem. So I've really tried to find answers, and I can't seem to get to a good solution yet. But I don't think the cages are the answer.
Thank you, Rachel. Just through the chair, in that meeting, the cost for the Hirakino, so in terms of that recommendation to improve it and make it look a little bit prettier so people don't dump there, it's $34,000 and no dump fees being paid. That's how much waste is going through there, and then it's a $72,500 cleanup. So Hirakino dump in the last period has cost us $100,000 as ratepayers. Yeah, so it's anything we can do in Hirakino to make dumping out there less attractive is a good thing. Yeah, illegal dumping. Illegal dumping. It's massive.
Comms.
Yes, comms and trying to change the perception of the
Yeah.
Tile.
It's like Whananga Roddy down.
Oh, yes, awesome.
He literally polices it.
We actually had comms wanting to come today, but they'll be at our next meeting, so we can have some more calls.
Okay. So yes, tautoko this motion.
Yes, recommendations A and B. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Thank you. We'll adjourn for lunch. Food is ready.
What's left? So can we do the other ones first?
Which one?
I don't know. Chairperson members report, open resolutions. That's all that's left, eh?
And funding.
Oh, you are. I'll be absent for that one. So of interest.
Okay.
Is it most lunch reading, please? Yes, it is.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get straight into it. Shall we go? Hilda, fire. Was there any particular sequence you were looking at because you had to go?
What, sorry?
For the agenda?
Oh, I won't go because I'm going to hang around for the Pukepoto footpaths.
Okay.
So, yeah, just have to be absent for one of those funding applications.
Okay. 748 then, funding applications, page 133. That the Hiku Community Board approved the sum of 5,000 plus GST, if applicable, be paid from the board's community grant fund account to APAR Coastal Patrol Incorporated for costs towards summer 2026-27 petrol costs. B, shall I handle A first?
Yes.
So second that, thank you.
Yeah, I'm moving through the second.
Discussion on this, please. Any comments?
So it took all.
They do awesome. They do a massive job.
Through the chair, I will say the application was made before a certain Northern Hemisphere person started causing petrol issues.
Thank you. I wonder if they considered that.
Just through the chair, just from my perspective, we've got to be careful that this is ratepayer money, and we're at a time at the moment where as fuel is so high and we're giving away money for fuel. So I'm just making that clear that it's ratepayer money, so we've got to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So, and it's not the summer yet, and I'm thinking perhaps this could be left to lie on the table until probably our September meeting. They resume again probably more so in October for the summer. So that's just from a perspective of thinking about the ratepayer.
Through the chair, you could actually grant them out of this funding, because if you leave it to September, it's new funding year.
Yeah.
You could grant them this application, and if it's too much, they can come back next year, next financial year, and make it a further application that the board can consider.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking from a ratepayer perspective about the fuel situation.
Yeah, but it would be the fuel situation, whether or not it was a fuel situation or not at this stage. And the board has granted them funding before for the same.
And like you said, this application was done prior to this escalation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more discussion on that? A. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Abstainees? Carried. Second, B, that the Te Hiku Community Board approve the sum of 13,413 plus GST if applicable be paid from the board's pride place fund account to Muri Whenua Education and Sports Hub for cost towards Nora mezzanine and entrance. Could I have a seconder?
Yeah, we could see that.
Any discussion?
I'm very happy with this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that have happened up there.
Yeah.
Add to it, there's a lot they've missed out too, and add to it that it's an emergency hub.
Emergency hub.
Yeah,
It'll just complete this whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was quite interested to know if they would close that in, because I see that as a really good space. And Manuel obviously said that they are looking to close it at some stage, because I guess if there's sports happening down here, it can be really noisy up there. But it is a good space to utilise. Yeah, I support it.
It is noisy up there, Trev, because I've trained up there.
In the fact they've got funding. It's just a short term.
Yeah. Thank you. Rachel. Can you hear us, Rachel?
Sorry, my question was on the previous application, but it's been passed now, so that's fine.
Thank you.
I was just sort of asking around what Adele was saying just on granting funds for petrol. How do we equate for that? How did they come back with a report to show how they've used the funds? That's the difficulty with funding fuel. I was just wondering if they had a clear way to for accountability report on how to come back with that. It's not a tangible thing. I just wasn't quite sure if we have some rules around that. We have brought that up in the past, but I'm not sure the answer. That's all.
Kia ora, Rach. I don't have the answer, but what I've seen is when I've gone out with them is they keep logbook thingy. That may not be of any help, but that's how I've seen.
Yeah, no, that's good. That just sort of shows their kilometres, and that's really helpful when it comes to accountability. Just from a public's perspective, if they're saying, "Hey, we're granting this money for fuel," that in the accountability report, just to be able to show that this is about the kilometres we do, we're paroling this. I just want to keep them safe because they do great work, and they have a huge impact out there. I'm just thinking it would be great just to have some. Catherine will have that in hand, I'm sure, but just my view.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. Catherine, no problems there in terms of logbooks. Those will come in handy.
Yeah.
Right, where are we?
I'm sure that Spider will come back in.
Next year.
Oh, did we vote on B?
No, you haven't.
No, we haven't. Thank you.
Oh, but we had.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We were sidetracked.
Sure. We did.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, 8.1.
Hearing this.
Members, chairpersons and members' reports that the TQ Committee Board note the April 2026 members' reports from Chair Bill Zabriskie and members of Val Gardner, Eddie Villas, Crystal Rose, Dave, Mike Wake, and Trevor Beaton be accepted. I'll move that.
Second it.
Thank you. Trip, can I start with you?
Yeah, nothing to add to my report. Just taking this read. Thank you. Oh, probably just, sorry, the one discussion point is that there's a number of issues identified out in Ahipara around the funding that was given to us post-COVID, where Hoskin Civil completed a lot of the work. So after meeting with the technical officer out in Ahipara to talk through some of them, the issues, it sounds like there's space between the works being completed and formally handed over to the council for the council to take over the maintenance of some of the projects. So there's the PO, there's bollards, there's a whole lot of things that have been done, and I think it might be the same in town. Hasn't ever been formally signed off and over to the council for the council to pick up and take on the maintenance.
Yep.
And so I just red flagged that because we've got Queer and Komato going down there trying to oil Po, leaning ladders up against them, weeding around these things where clearly if it's on council property owned by the council and the work was done at the council's request, then whatever needs to happen for Hoskin Civil to sign it off and over needs to happen and get moved over. So I don't know what the mechanism is for that, but somebody somewhere needs to push enter on the computer for that to start. I guess it's a question more than a comment is I don't know who that is or how.
Bring that up in general business too. It's a new discussion.
Okay. Is it bigger?
Well, just to see what's the process of moving forward.
Okay, sure, that's me.
Second.
Oh, I can move.
Yeah, there you go. Second. Sorry. 4 times, bro. Moving on mine.
Yeah, I'll take mine as read, but my first meeting of the museum. So yeah, that was cool to get in amongst it with the committee there and some new learnings and it's a cool period in the committee's time too, so they've got a lot of movement going on, and it was really good to sit there and just get amongst that one. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Crystal.
Kia ora, Chair. I'll just take my report as read. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Oh, thank you. Just following on from Eva's discussion around the well, first of all, we probably need a workshop for City Care, because they're the people that need to have all this maintenance in their contract, like when it comes to the weeding and stuff. So we probably, that's number one thing, that we need to have a workshop with City Care, and because there needs to be a variation to their contract, obviously, for the maintenance of these areas. Because as you can see, that I've already put in an RFS for the weeds around the pose in our area, through Whakatāia. And they're a mess. They really are. So that's number one thing. The Kaitoa Business Association, none of the minutes were updated on the website, so I could pull out their report, our minutes. It just says ongoing maintenance. The minutes were not on the website.
Double check that.
Yeah. In time for the meeting. That was for March to February minutes right there.
Okay, Business Association.
And also our March minutes weren't updated either. In time for the meeting. Yeah. So the meeting, the next meeting is at the end of April, so I'd like to think that I can actually pull the minutes out and report to them, because this is what they're requesting, please. So the rest of it is just take it as read. The Te Hiku Sports Hub is doing really well. As you can see, there's the users are 183,000 up to the end of February. So, yeah, hoping the fields will be on track, ready for the winter months. The lining of it all, the lines on the fields for all the rugby and league, and then also the track and field for the summer as well. Because I've already been using the fields, but there's no lines on there. So hopefully that'll happen. Is there any questions from my report? No?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, kia ora everybody. Well, I usually do a monthly report for council, which I don't really want to redo again.
We're hitting their own problems. Rescue missions are costing more aircraft than they are saving.
Can you mute your phone?
So I sent that to everybody, but I suppose the big issues for me in the last month is we've had a couple of meetings about Kaitaia Airport. The project has started. They've had karakia up there. They've done drainage, cleared some of the land. Drainage was a big one. They're probably going to close the airport for 1 week. They're able to do stuff this week and do it all at night time, so it won't affect the travel, etc. But they're looking at maybe closing, and they can confirm the date. Again, this is why I want the Facebook page for Te Hiku Community Board. So it looks like it's going to be closed for 1 week, where they may consider vanning people down to Kirikiri and then back, etc., etc. But they will, and doctors have opted to drive up rather than fly from Kirikiri. There's not much time saving. So, you know, the ones that come up every day, there's usually about 8 or so doctors or different medical consultants coming up. And when it's closed, I'll be doing sort of the metal and then a special coating they put on it, which should last for 15 years. The second, most of the Crown money will be all used on resilience funding. So lighting will come later and a few other things. They're going to be setting up like a satellite space there. We have decided to move the old yellow house, like Takite, to move that off site because it would free up other space. So there's going to be a satellite thing there for flights, for other flight users. And then the second part of the project, which is to be another discussion at another time, will be the upgrade of the airport, which we're talking about making bigger, using the money well to make it more practical. There's some, what's that stuff that's, best asbestos in some places. So that's that one. Awanui pensioners, just making it known that Te Runanga o Ngai Takoto are interested in doing a partnership with the divestment of those, because they have that's part of their settlement claim from 2015. I don't know why council hasn't decided to, where all these lands are, have been returned under claim, why they haven't been vested back. I think that's a number of iwi. But just noting that they're wanting to have that meeting with Housing for the Elderly. Taipa, at the recent council meeting, we approved the desludging. A budget for desludging. Oh my gosh, it's huge. And just so for everybody else's ears, like what the technical advisor, what's his name, Andre Kumas, he suggests that the limit across all wastewater treatment plants for sludge is 15%. He said in Europe it's 10%, but ours, the one out there, Taipa, is 35%. So they can't start their clinical trial until the sludge is down. So that even though they're the forerunners of the electrocoagulation unit. So just me to all those hapu out there, those Ngāti Kahu hapu, for all of their work, but I feel sorry for them because I've been saying the same thing for years. So it's good that there's that's gone forward, and then there'll be other stuff. I've got a list of 8. We've just gone and knocked off 2 of 8, so that's really good. And I suppose the other thing is that the flooding issue, I just felt we didn't speak enough about that here or through our comms. It was through other people's comms. And the issue for me was, and I wasn't involved in any of the remediation stuff, but how we didn't know what was going on inside the community. Like I only found out, and it is from finding out that from people who live there, this house was yellow stickered, this house was this, and this house, stuff like that, and unless like the only ones I've seen online about Kaitai have been Kaitai fire volunteers and a couple of other sites, the Kaitiaki response thing. But it's the little things that we know we can help. Like I got a bit cross-communicated too with I started worrying about another area instead of worrying about my own area because I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah. I'm just
and the rubbish, before I forget, the rubbish that people whose houses were damaged, because we never got comms from council, anybody who had flood damaged stuff could take it to the dump when the bins were full. But no, that wasn't passed on because they were scared that everybody would abuse it. That's, little stuff that we can tell individual households.
So just one of the feedback, Bev, I'm sure you're on the recovery team, I'm not sure. From people who were evacuated to the gym at the Kaitai College, nobody logged them in. There was no logged in. No one took their names and their addresses and all that sort of stuff. So that is, when I did, in 2007 when we had evacuation, there was somebody right there logging people in and taking them. So that didn't happen, apparently, I believe.
I did see.
I've spoken to people who were evacuated and that didn't happen. And the other thing, I was talking to the manager who runs Ritchie buses, Trish, well, I forget what her surname is. She was a Williams anyway. She was West Williams. And nobody contacted Ritchie's. Now they have 2 buses that are 4-wheel drives. And they could have been there waiting to evacuate like people like Switzer or groups of people. Yeah, so nobody contacted her. She kept 2 buses here and another bus over in Wanganui for that reason. And no one, so I just thought I could pass that on to you. Yeah.
There are definitely lessons from this,
of course.
And there will be a debriefing to tighten up things and give some more education as well to elected members, because the last time there was a civil defence workshop for all elected members was December, and you just come through elections, so that was in chambers. So there has been a call for another one in situations like this. Because we've always been taught to channel through civil defence, our emergency operations centre, and follow council and NRC updates.
Yeah, well, our centre is the Kaitai Fire Brigade, so
yeah,
and our community board members could have helped,
and they want to.
And
as well,
yeah, we want to. Yeah, but we weren't given any clear direction or anything.
Sorry.
Oh, no, but I think that's critical, that inside Kaitai, and I know there are really organised groups and have been doing it for a while, but, little things where we can help, exactly what you were saying, like they talked about 448 being evacuated, but only 45 went up to the, and just knowing where they are. But that rubbish thing was a big deal because, a week later, there were people still having their stuff moved out. But you've got to be able to, scoop up everything and move it off site as well.
Oh, there was waste bins put around.
But they got filled up on day 1 and 2.
Yeah, but
then they were gone.
They were emptied and it's back there.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
See,
in our street anyway.
And that's a big issue now with clean up. It's become a huge issue. Once upon a time, they just waited, but they're finding now that silver is just carrying all the rubbish. Yeah. But again, I think at the council meeting, just to reinforce what you've said, the emergency response were the same. There's a lot of areas where we can be more cohesive, and a lot of people sitting around waiting while others are tearing their hair out. So yeah. A lot more work to do, and we've got to do it real quick.
Yeah, well, there's more weather anomalies on this. Yeah, we've got 2 fronts coming in different.
Sorry, we keep interrupting.
No, I'll finish, please.
Okay, I'll just speak for Eddie's, since he's not here. He's not online. I just want to thank him for his initiative in terms of getting the rubbish meeting together. I found that really helpful. And out of that meeting too, we had outcomes. We had a strategy, and that was really good. So I appreciate that. In terms of the Facebook page, is that my job to talk to them and just say, look, we're going to do this page so we can make that a little bit more effective?
We've got our comms team that were meant to be here today, and they're coming to our meeting next month.
Do they live in Kaitai? That's my
They're travelling up.
No.
Yeah.
We need if there's a couple of you that can...
There's a process where we can say, oh, here's a pānui from someone Boom, can you put it out for a greater audience?
Yeah, no, I just think we've got to have a local response.
That's what I was trying to highlight in our Teams chat. Like
Yeah.
as soon as the weather event was popping off, we needed to be sharing everyone.
Yeah, all of the bookers, things and chickies, those updates were like awesome, but trying to get them out. Well, I'm fortunate. I got
I try and share them to different groups as much as I can, but not everybody's on Facebook either.
Yeah. Can we standardise that sort of thing? So there's your response, bang, it goes out. We're all doing the same thing? Or is it just all individuals?
We can get like or chickies, things like that, tagged too out to Hiku.
Yeah, that'll be, that's less mahi for anyone.
As soon as theirs once goes, it connects.
But that's the response stuff. That's cool. But I think what Whaihura is saying, we need more on the ground, like this is.
For this area.
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants to go and have a look, don't they? And that's the
last thing you want.
I remember in Oxford Street when that flooded when I was in the Flint and people driving through and the bow waves they were throwing was putting water in the houses that if they stayed out of the street wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah, that situation with four-wheel drives parked in Packensack in the water. Police come in to tell them to get out. Anyway. Okay. Moving on to my report, take it as read. I had most based on the problems we are now facing at Whakawhiti in terms of erosion, sand dune erosion, speed bikes, etc., etc. It's very similar to what APARA has been monitoring. So, which is why I asked for their direction. We, between myself and Bev, we came up with a resolution to pass that. But when I went to the council meeting, their meeting was before our resolution. Having said that, I did give a brief report on that. And as a result, I think Moko got some of the team to come and see me.
So we don't have to have a resolution.
So I didn't need a resolution. So that can go through, apart from about 3 or more issues that I want to table, Bev. So I'll get hold of you. Yeah, and I just want to reinforce that that was a real eye-opener in terms of the civil defence, the guy who does the emergency evacuations procedures. Crystal, you're looking at updating some of those out there, same on the peninsula?
Yeah, and I also want access to the Kaitaia one because it's not easily accessible, the Kaitaia response plan. And the one I think was the one it's not.
Oh,
it's totally different.
Because it's coming through NRC who have all.
Yeah.
So it says as an advocacy with the Hiku Community Board to help with community response plans to advocate for them. That's where we get the civil defence to come along to those communities
and it's
get them
moving. Sorry, I believe it's the same meeting that Peter spoke about with the stakeholders, which happened last year at REAP. I was there for Ngātikahu, but that plan that was reviewed and re-released, I don't even know where it is.
And it's exactly what we're talking about, Crystal. Yeah, it's not cohesive.
One was there, police were there, NRC were there, FNDC were there, iwi were there, Oranga Tamariki was there, but I've never received the plan, so I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what to take back to our iwi in terms of kaitaia, is what I'm saying.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Just really want to just acknowledge the letter that came from Hihi via Eddie Belas's thing about the speed issues, because there were something like 32 schools that had reduced speed limits, but most of them they had spoken to the schools, and you could tell because people had advocated 40 Ks, 50 Ks. Where they didn't, they put in a generic 60 Ks. And so I had asked when this came up that the speed reductions be okayed, but that they check, because like they had 60 K outside Hera Kinnell. There's already a 30 K sign there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what the hell? And even at Aokura, they wanted 60 and like 40 Ks is what we sort of, and even lower, especially people coming around the road. So that was just, I'm really just acknowledging this. Local, considerations for speed issues. But also we got stung in the last election because we approved reduction of speed limits, and then when the new government came in,
Slash.
They said no. And then that cost about a heck of a lot of money
It was going to happen. It just they went against the.
Yeah. And so all of that community consultation went down the drain. So I'm just really acknowledging the letter here from the He Ratepayers Association about round there, and all of the similar comments that we're saying is a lack of cohesion within our own community. We have to be, somebody has to be part of it, feeding it out. I kind of think that a council comms thing is okay, but it's not locally driven. Too slow for us. I'll give you an example where I went off on the wrong tangent. Like through Chiki, I found out that Moria had a water problem, and then a water tank was being delivered, and so they needed water. They wanted water containers, clean water containers. So I'm putting up a post here in Kaitaia saying, wondering why nobody's donated water bloody containers, and that's because we're still dealing with other issues. And I thought, that's that local response, you know, people can help here. But even the thought of how I would get them over to Moria would be another story as well. It's a 2-hour trip.
Yeah.
By the time you come here, it's too late. It's a month late.
Well, I did let them know that you were bringing water, and they go, we didn't hear about this. Yeah.
See, this is what people hear on the ground. They say, this is what we need.
But to give an example, I had been called on a Sunday to go to Whirinaki. They had leads appointed for each of the different areas. The bins, the portaloos, just the kai, the food parcels, the board angels.
Oh, yeah, they were.
It was just like a well-used and to mirror that for other areas. Would be
It happened.
If it works.
Yeah, I know this week there are meetings coming up with Marae as well. The Civil Defence are running to get feedback from those. So
just on that, I had to switch the status of my marae out in Angiru, Waiho Marae, from being a civil defence hub to no go, and that was like a 2-hour hui.
What does go mean?
It went from being the civil defence hub, and then it breached the swamp at the back, which has never happened before. And then the whole marae was just, the water came up at the awa. And so for me to say, I was all right to say, no, don't go there now, because the floods come up. I had to go back around all these tracks to say, because it was still on the civil defence things. So yeah, that's a good learning too.
Okay, thank you. So quite obviously, it seems we need to tidy up and tidy up fast. Can I move that the reports be accepted, please?
Aye.
Sorry, accept. All those in favour?
Aye.
And lastly, 8.2, page 169, Hiku Board. That the Hiku Board Committee Board received a report. Hiku Committee Board Open Resolution Report for March 2026. Open for discussion. Sorry. I'll move it. Seconder.
Aye.
Open for discussion.
Nice tidy up there, Natasha. I know the board had requested last month to remove anything that, you know, that just continued on.
I've got no updates on the toilet in the park. Probably too flooded to do anything down there.
You said something for the wrong one. Certain mayor in his park.
Well, there's all the stuff on the drainage. Yeah,
Names are there.
exactly.
Just on that though, I think like for me personally, I know there's a bit of upset around maybe the time it's taken, but I don't know a lot of these people, and I'd hate to see them be put on appointed by us and they've passed away or something. You know, like I've been around those sextons in the cemeteries and like, oh yeah, he died. Oh, how long ago? Oh, 8 years ago. Oh, but he's on the website for the FNDC. So, you know, I think it's appropriate that we just get those confirmations done, because if we appoint people and someone goes, oh, they're dead, what did you put them on there for? Well, then it's bad for us. So,
well, some of those people will go to the meetings, but some of them probably will not come back on. Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
I mean, in the management plan, it's how
it's full of that.
We don't.
And we have that in hand there.
Oh yeah, but I took all the notes from the discussions, and I actually came up with 2, so we can have another debrief on the right. We just can't shuffle.
Tomorrow.
Then,
I have a meeting between 10:30 and 11.
oh, very good. Yeah. It's been a very limp, loose kind of terrible arrangements what's happened with these 3, now 4 drainage committees. It's just make it happen. Staff retention as well.
And gosh, especially with all this water coming.
Oh yeah.
It has to happen. Yeah.
All those in favour of the resolution report?
Aye.
Carried.
What's happening now? We're having some sort of workshop.
We've got a couple of.
Do you want to close the meeting first?
Yeah.
Tapai. Hono, kia koe Bev, koutou koto whānui, I raro I te kapua pauri I tēnei wā. Ko ngā whakaaro ki tō whānui, o te ake ki o tātou nei tini mate rātou ko nini ki te pō. Ko ngā whakaaro. Kia rātou ko huri tuarama. O te ake tātou, rātou ki te pō, tātou ki te ao, tēnā rā tātou katoa, kia inui tātou. Kia tātou katoa. Te atu whai o tō tātou arikia I Krauti, me te aroa o te atua, me te whiwhinga taitama, ki te wairua tapu, ake, 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 āmene.
Thank you. Declare the meeting closed.